Hey everyone, Ryan here, M&R Productions, and this is my review of the LEGO Galaxy Explorer, set number 10497, and that 497 is, not coincidentally, the set number of the original version of this set from 1979. It is vastly different looking, yet very much the same. This is such a better version of that original set, and it's something I'm very excited to build here. The box art really pays homage to those classic LEGO sets. This one has 1,254 pieces and only costs $100 in the US. I think this is a fantastic deal for what it looks like you get. I saw this built on display at the LEGO store the other day, and I'm very excited to build it for myself. It is for ages 18 and up, but notably not the all-black box art. So this might be one of the first 18 and up marked sets, not an all-black box art. Very interesting. Perhaps the castle also fits into that category. On the bottom right of the box, it does say 90 years of play, so this is kind of an anniversary type set, something to kind of celebrate LEGO's history. And then we have a few minifigs inside, 4 to be exact. We get 2 of the white spacemen and 2 of the red guys. That should be pretty cool. And then on the back, you can see more images of the set. It's just so beautiful. You also have the dimensions there, but let's unbox this. It's such a beautiful box. It truly pained me to break those thumb tabs because I didn't have a knife handy. Oh my goodness, there's a, what is this? Little extra freebie. Oh, yes, the classic. This is like, okay, this has been happening for way too long. Give me this. Hi, we're still using plastic bags, but we've been telling people we're going to switch to paper bags for years, but we still haven't switched to paper bags, so we included this piece of paper to tell you about how we're going to save the environment. So, yeah, just switch to paper bags. I don't understand why they have to, I guess it's marketing, right? But, like, you don't have to tell people, like, about it over and over and over again. Just do it, you know? Put your money where your mouth is. Quit talking about it. Okay, so I thought, okay, for a second I thought, if you look at the side, it looks like it's yellowed. It's not yellowed. It's done on, like, the color of, like, the moon surface or whatever this is. I thought they, like, purposely made it look yellowed or whatever, which I thought was a cool touch either way. But, yeah, I really like these instructions. Looks like quite the build. Oh, we even have information about, oh, this is from, like, the guy who owns LEGO or something. Oh, wow. There's a lot more in here than I was expecting. This is very cool. You can pause and read anything you like, of course. There's the designer. That is pretty cool. And onto the build. And it's basically like a different version of Benny's spaceship to me, which I actually never owned. But yeah, this is cool. Let me see if there's anything special in the back. Nothing crazy special in the back. Just shows you how to use some of the features we'll be taking a look at. And then it's got the classic space logo. So I'm going to build this. Let's go. The 4 minifigs in the set are the exact same selection we saw back in that original 1978 set. The only difference between these figures and the original figures, from what I can tell in some of the images, is the print quality of the space logo. I think it's definitely better in the 2022 version of the figures, but otherwise these are practically exact replicas of those original figures, and they even include that space backpack piece here. So yeah, very nice figure selection, nothing extra from that original version like you get with the actual ship, which maybe will leave a little bit to be desired for some people, but the exact same figures included nonetheless. Included alongside the main build are a couple of small side builds with a robot serving space coffee, pretty neat, and then we have like a 4-wheeler, which you can have one of the minifigs sit in on, which is really nice, like rolls very nicely, very low friction for that, and then it's got a little light at the front and the steering wheel that actually turns, so it's a pretty neat small build, nothing crazy, but this actually can go into the spaceship. Let's show you how. The other thing you can do with the 4-wheeler is at the back here, you can actually open this right on up. Very cool, gives you a lot of space to get in there. And if you take the 4-wheeler, you can actually just drop it in there. And when it's in there, it can't really roll out very easily, and that's for good reason. So we close this up, you can kind of shake it around. You can hear, oh, I didn't clip it in all the way. There we go. And you can see it's like in there, it's not going anywhere. So on the bottom of the ship, there's actually landing gear. They use kind of the Mario piece there, and it looks really beautiful. You can pull it down really easily, and it's just great. And it's just great looking landing gear. I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's some of the best landing gear I think I've ever seen in a LEGO set. I want to say Star Wars, but LEGO Star Wars sets sometimes just have stationary landing gear. That one actually moves in and out of the ship, which is great. But now at the back, if we open this up, we can do something a little bit different, and we can pull down on this, so that releases this piece here, and this ramp can drop down. And when this ramp drops down, it also allows the 4-wheeler to get beneath these Technic pins and drop out of the ship there. So I think that's a really cool play function. And then when you want to bring it back in, you can pull this ramp in, push it up, and then you're going to want to bring this back in, clip it into place or whatever, and you're good to fly off again. So beautiful play function at the back there. Another really cool thing at the back here, you have these green translucent pieces, which add a nice splash of color to what is otherwise a just straight blue thing with a little bit of gray, obviously. And then we also have the arrow. Really love this arrow design. My brain can't even begin to comprehend how you come up with something like that, but it looks amazing. And like, oh, I guess I built it inside out on this side. Interesting. But you can see the intended look here is just fantastic. And then a little more forward, we have a crate, and in there are a couple of weapons for your spacemen to use. Close that right up. The crate on the other side is going to be an extra backpack, that one in black. Obviously, you have red for the red, white for the white spacemen, so the black is just a little something different in there, I guess. I really love the huge fin at the top of the Galaxy Explorer there, and you have this really nice kind of fin look to it. I don't know, just really cool with all the different little sections there. Now, it gets a bit messy in the middle here for an otherwise clean-looking set, where you just start getting these weird pieces popping out in different directions, because you can see everything else is really nicely tiled off, but this is for pretty good reason. It obviously resembles what the original set looked like, but it also has a really cool built-in play function, where if you pull it off and it doesn't pull the whole thing off, we'll put that back and we'll actually test it just, again, free ball, just as some kid would come along to use it, I guess. Maybe that's the better way to pull it off there. You'll notice some studs here, and these are supposed to be little extra spaceships that you can take off and fly around. So I wouldn't say it's the coolest looking thing, like they do look a little bit awkward on the top of it, but from like a creative, fun point of view, it is very much that. From like an 8-year-old enjoying a Lego set, they are going to enjoy this. So I love this feature from that perspective. I think it's amazing, and it's something that's really simple. It's actually something that you wouldn't probably even know was a thing unless you looked at the back of the box like I did. Like, I didn't even realize that's what these were intended to be while building the set. It was just something I kind of realized in preparing to review it. I was like, oh, that is a neat little feature there that you can pop off and have them be something else. So in addition to having 4 engines, you have 2 makeshift extra spaceships too. Now, looking to the cockpit area and crew quarters, we have a lot going on. It's in this beautiful translucent yellow color as well, which just really pops on the ship. Obviously, it adds something that most sets in Lego just generally don't have, is this translucent yellow, so it looks really cool from that perspective. But opening up the cockpit section first, we have all printed tiles at the front here, which just look gorgeous as far as having controls for the spaceship. I love it. It's kind of crazy for the value this set already provides at $100. Getting printed tiles, I think, is just kind of insane. We also have the LL928 on both sides. Those are also printed bricks, and the classic space logo on a printed 2x4 tile there at the front with a little bit of reflection there. You can see kind of the craters on there changing depending on the angle that you look at it at. So I think that's really cool as well. But you have 4 seats for all 4 of your classic spacemen. You can see they've made more than enough space for the backpacks. It's a very spacious interior there at the front, considering all the figures you're supposed to fit into it. So I think it looks pretty cool with them in there. And then, of course, when they're all in there, you're not going to have more figures to populate the back area, but you can kind of take some out and use them in other areas as you please. So let's talk about this crew quarters area, because I think it's pretty insane. I just wish it had slightly better access. Like when I was building this, you didn't have these walls built up around it. It was really cool, like how easy it was to get in at some of these sections. But now that it's all here put together, it's a little bit more difficult. But you can see more amazing printed tiles. You can see those crates that we took a look at just a moment ago that go to the exterior. So it's kind of like this idea that you could put an item in from the inside and then take it out from the outside, maybe, even though you can't do that, maybe just from the creative perspective. And then you might also notice a small door at the back. So we'll open these again, and I'll show you what that door can do. So you actually just slide it over, and you have a hatch for your minifigs to pass through. Now, it's not a huge hatch, but it is very nicely designed, and it does fit the minifigs through. Just using one hand here, you can see it's definitely a doable thing, and I think it's really cool. I love that it's just really smooth, and like, I don't know, I really like the way that turned out there. And then inside the crew quarters here, you have some really interestingly designed beds, because they are designed to allow the minifigs with the space packs to lay on them. So if you drop the minifig in there, even though he's got his backpack or jetpack on, he can still lay in there. So that's why there's kind of that cutout in the bottom of the bed for them. You can see a couple more very nicely printed tiles above him, just beautifully designed in there. I love this classic style set, but in a modern age. It just turned out so shockingly well. The final thing really to talk about is the very front of the ship, and at that it's just got a couple of laser cannons, essentially, to take on some aliens, perhaps. So yeah, it's a beautifully designed ship, and one that I fully recommend if, of course, you had the ship originally, you know, you're older and you've had this as a child, perhaps. Or if you're just into this sort of thing, if you're a big LEGO fan, it's something that I think a lot of people, including myself, can appreciate for the greatness this set provides, especially at $100. I mean, this is a surprisingly large build for $100. All of the printed elements are a shock to me at $100. Like, this is a excellent value, I think. It's one that I think will go down as a legendary set, and certainly something that I recommend if you find yourself interested, even if you are going to end up paying that full price tag. Like, you can wait for a sale, I guess, but like, I don't feel like you're getting ripped off for 100. You're doing okay. This is like a 9.75 out of 10 for me. It is very close to perfect, if not perfect for many people out there, especially those with the hard nostalgia for a set like this. If you had this one growing up, I'm sure you love this, right? So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section below. If you want to pick one up, I'll drop my affiliate link in the description below, and you can check out more LEGO videos on the end screen now. Peace out.